A farm in focus. The sun had just begun to rise over the small town of Willow Creek, casting a warm glow over the fields and farms that dotted the landscape. In one such farm, a young boy named Jake woke up early, eager to start his day at the chicken farm. Jake lived with his grandparents on this farm, where they raised chickens for eggs and meat. His grandfather, a kind and wise man named Henry, had taken Jake under his wing since he was old enough to help out around the farm. Together, they did everything from feeding and collecting eggs from the chickens to fixing fences and repairing broken machinery. As Jake got dressed and headed downstairs for breakfast, he noticed that his grandmother, Emily, looked particularly concerned this morning. "What's wrong, Grandma?" Jake asked as she poured him a bowl of oatmeal. "It's just that some of the hens are getting sick," she said, her brow furrowed with worry. "I'm not sure what it is, but they seem to be losing feathers and looking quite miserable." Jake's face lit up with determination. He loved helping out on the farm, and he was eager to figure out what was ailing the hens. After breakfast, he set off with Henry to investigate. As they made their way through the rows of chicken coops, Jake noticed that some of the birds were indeed losing feathers and looked pale and lethargic. Henry examined them closely, muttering to himself about parasites and nutrition. Jake watched intently as his grandfather took notes and consulted a book on poultry diseases. It soon became clear that the chickens had been suffering from a mild case of avian malaria, likely caused by an outbreak of mosquitoes near the farm's pond. Jake listened intently as Henry explained how they would need to take measures to prevent further infestation, changing the chicken feed to a type that was less appealing to mosquitoes and cleaning out the coops more frequently. Over the next few days, Jake helped his grandfather implement these changes, working tirelessly alongside him to ensure the chickens' health improved. And as the weeks went by, the hens began to recover, their feathers growing back in and their spirits lifting. As Jake looked around at the happy, healthy birds strutting about the farm, he felt a sense of pride and accomplishment wash over him. He had learned something new today, that even small actions could have big impacts when it came to taking care of living creatures. "Thanks, Grandpa," Jake said, putting an arm around Henry's shoulders as they watched the chickens roam freely in their newly cleaned coops. "I'm glad we were able to figure out what was wrong and fix it." Henry smiled back at him, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You're welcome, kiddo," he said. "You've got a real knack for this, I reckon you'll make an excellent farmer one day."
Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching my short story. Subscribe.